You know, the budget market is hotting up with better and better quality rifles, offering more and more for your money, with new names throwing their hat into the ring all the time, it seems. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air. Now, before we get into this week's review, just to mention that both myself and Vector Air will be at the British Shooting Show this year. They will be having a pretty big stand for both optics and guns. I will also be around for all 3 days and will be visiting the BSA shooting range and the Vector Air stand. So, please come along and have a chat with us all. Anyway, on with this week's review. This week is the turn of the Airacuda Max from JTS. Both are names you may not instantly recognise, but the name of the importing company, my guess is you probably will recognise. Lee Enfield. Let's take a closer look at this new American-developed rifle, shall we? Stats to start with. This is around 1055mm or 41.5 inches long, with a 450mm or around 17.75 inch long barrel. It tips the scales at around 3.8 kilograms or 8 pounds 8.5 ounces, certainly on my scales. So it's not overly heavy and it's not overly long. It does have a shroud built in that does seem to keep most of the noise down, but it is also threaded on the end of the barrel to add an additional silencer, moderator, suppressor or whatever with the usual long 1/2 inch UNF thread. Always useful. It is available over here in 177 and 22 calibers and comes with 2 magazines as standard and a single shot tray as well. Incidentally, the magazines are 12 shot in 177 and 10 shot in 22. There is a .25 cal available in the US. From the front then, there is that 1/2 inch UNF thread and cover as we've already mentioned, and below this is another threaded cover which is the cover for the nice and simple Foster fitting filler. So no need for special filler probes on this one. Again, simple but nice idea. This is on the end of the air cylinder, and for the life of me I cannot find out the cc's of this reservoir. What I can tell you is that it has a max fill pressure of around 220 bar and is good for around 120 full power shots. Full power in the UK spec, that is. This flows down to the wooden stock. It is walnut in colour, but I would say it's actually beech, but quite nicely put together with no sharp edges or burrs anywhere. This is a thumb hole design with stippling along the front area that matches the grip. It isn't overly heavily done and is probably just subtle enough to do exactly what you want from stippling. The stock does have some really nice curves to it and is really pleasing to the eye and quite traditional with a modern feel to it, if that's at all possible. There is an ambidextrous adjustable cheek riser to help find the perfect scope eye position. At the very rear of this skeletal and thumbhole stock is a rubberized butt pad. On the underside of the front is a Picatinny rail for bipods, etc. Behind this is the first of the 2 gauges. This is the pressure gauge and is colour coded to give you the ideal working pressures. Moving further down is the second gauge, which is the regulator gauge. Yes, I said regulator, because even though this is in the budget category, it is fully regulated, which should naturally help with consistency and shot count. Nice touch. Then we come to the trigger area. This is a 2-stage item and is adjustable and set to around £2 from the factory. The trigger itself is slightly chamfered and looks like they've taken a lot of care to get the look just right. This does leave it with quite a thin feel to it. Not a problem, just an observation when I first used it. The safety is an in-trigger style and is nice and broad item and is easy to use, with back for safe and forward for fire. Incidentally, the underside of the trigger guard has the markings to show you the direction of the safety. This is a manual safety and is really simple to use, yet very defined in action, which again I prefer. Moving up, we then come to the action, which is a side lever and nice and easy to use. I would point out at this stage that it isn't £2,000 rifle smooth, but it isn't notchy or rough at all. But please don't expect silk. You just get a nice action. It has a nice click up initially and an easy pull and lock back, return, and it clicks home again. It is very nice. It is also very simple to decock. Simply hold back on the side lever, release the trigger slowly and let the side lever forward. Naturally, I'm talking about doing this without the magazine fitted, because it will still push pellets down if you're doing it with a magazine full of pellets. On the very top, they have taken the Picatinny route for your preferred sighting attachment, and I must admit to it having a bit of a Viroc feel to it. As I said, this has been designed and developed in the US and will be for higher power levels than the UK sub-12 laws. Indeed, they are around 46 foot-pound out in the States. So, has it adjusted to our restricted power levels very well? Time to get this over the chronograph and put that to the test. I have both the 177 and the 22 calibers, so let's give them a go, shall we? Well, the 177 using standard 8.44 grains saw 777 feet per second, which equates to 11.32 foot-pounds or 15.34 joules. The 22, loaded up with 15.89 grains, saw 570 feet per second, which is 11.47 foot-pounds or 15.55 joules. Both of these figures are just about perfect, giving a little leeway for different design and weight of pellets to keep you within the UK limit. Let's just take a look at that magazine, shall we? The quality feels really very nice with the all-metal item. Loading this magazine up is simplicity itself. Simply pellet head first, put in, turn to the next slot, line it up nicely, it'll just drop straight in, and again turn to the next one, face first or head first, in, and so on. It is child's play, and of course it holds itself into the last position anyway. And these really defy the budget price tag that's on this gun. They're very good quality indeed. Very good. Of course, once you've loaded up, pull back on the side lever, slot in, push forward, you're ready to go. It is nice to be able to see the JTS logo from the right-hand side as well. It's a nice finishing touch. I like that. With that lot done then, it's time to get a scope on this and get it out on the range. At this point, it's worth highlighting there are a couple of options with the Airacuda Max. They are simply the rifle on its own or as a kit form from the manufacturer importer. Their kit includes a PAO 3-9x42 IR scope, which is quite compact little scope, and the rifle will easily take a larger one if you prefer. The kit also includes an Air Force One Get Shorty Mark II silencer, which really doesn't do a bad job at all of helping to hush this down. That said, this isn't what I would call loud to start with. and for backyard target work isn't likely to upset too many people in standard form. In a hunting or pest control environment, however, then anything that makes your rifle quieter is always useful. Because I'm going to push this out a little further on the range to say 40 metres, I'm going to drop a Veyron onto it to give it a pretty good chance. Here goes. Settling down with QYS pellets. Out of breath. Not a bad start. Budget gun. You're not telling me there's anything really wrong with that on a cold day where I'm actually struggling to feel my hands, they're going blue. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's a budget gun. Yes, it's around the 400 mark, but nonetheless, you're getting an awful lot for your money, and it feels nice, it holds nice, get a decent scope on that one as well. It's not too loud. I quite like that, and I've not made any adjustments to the cheek riser or anything else, just straight on it. If anything, I would say I'd probably tweak the trigger a little lighter, but not a lot, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my personal choice. I like it a lot. Back to the warm studio. Absolutely nothing wrong there. Yeah. Remember, this is classed as a budget rifle. Now, when I say budget rifle, I'm not talking a £199 all plastic item. This is a regulated, all wooden stock, nicely made, side lever action with 2 quality magazines included in the box and a shrouded barrel. So, at its around £450 UK price tag, to my mind, it represents pretty good value for money and is knocking on the door of some of the higher priced manufacturers as far as quality is concerned, especially at a time when money is a little tight. It is a nice and comfortable rifle to shoot and is packed with enough features to make it consistent and efficient, with more than enough power on tap. What can it be used for? Well, whatever you want it to do, really. It is more than happy being used as a target rifle or even doing a spot of time-passing plinking. If it's pest control you need, then it will be equally at home. Naturally, because it isn't the normal run-of-the-mill brands, you'll also get noticed down the local range. You know, I do enjoy shooting some of these budget guns, and the manufacturers are really trying to deliver what people want. Well done, JTS. Nice one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one too. If you have, please give us the old thumbs up, subscribe, and feel free to share. And don't forget to hit the alarm bell. These lot will get you involved with keeping the chats going. Don't forget to visit the 880 website. And a big thank you as always to Vector Air. Don't forget they will be at the British Shooting Show this February. And that's at the NEC. Give them a visit. The biggest thanks, as always, goes out to you for watching and supporting the channel and what we're trying to achieve here. Please stay safe and shoot safe. And I'll see you next week with even more new stuff to have a look at. Bye for now.